Hello, welcome to the video training today. Welcome to the video training of 3 simple secrets to copywriting. Now, I want to just introduce myself first and foremost. My name is Joe Searle, and I've been writing copy for health and wellness companies now for going on 6 years. It actually all started off with my own companies. So I currently own a health and wellness clinic on the South Coast. So we offer things like sports massage, physiotherapy, hairdressing, all sorts of different treatments. And I had to start from scratch to really build that up and actually work out what would work best in terms of marketing practices, of sales copy, different tactics to employ. And I've been researching for many years now, and I've actually honed my craft in particular, and I've narrowed it down to working with supplement companies. Now, the reason I work with supplement companies and why I specialize in writing copy for those companies is because I am a bit of a gym buff. I'll be completely honest. I've used supplements all of my life, and I genuinely really believe in the power that supplements have to actually improve your life and improve your lifestyle in general. So I just wanted to kind of put it out there that that is my particular interest. Anyway, so moving forward, the power of words. So this training, I'm going to make it relatively brief, so it's probably going to be about 10 minutes, and I'll just put out there, I'll explain everything, I'll give explanations for each of the points. So this training is designed to increase your sales and your return on investment for your supplement company using very simple sales copy strategies. So moving on. Okay, so I want to start with why sales copy is so important and what it is as well, because a lot of people don't necessarily understand what sales copy is, although it's obviously, if you do understand, that's great, no problems, but I just want to explain the benefits of it and why it is so important as well. And I'm also going to reveal the 3 secrets to great sales copy. So yeah. So what have we got? Copy. Copy equals sales. That's as simple as I can put it. The better your copy is, the more sales you're going to get, the better your return on investment as well. So, if you're spending, for example, a dollar or a pound, whether you're based in the UK or whether you're based in the States or Australia, if you're spending that dollar and putting that into Facebook ads and you're getting $3 out, that's great. But that can be the difference between putting in $1 and getting $5 out or $6 out, and it can be the difference between selling $1,000 worth of product or $5,000. So there's a huge knock-on effect there. And copy in itself, a lot of people have different ideas of what copy is. It basically includes video sales letters. So kind of similar to the one that I'm running here. This is more of a training video, but you'll see a lot of companies using video sales letters and webinars to promote their products and services nowadays. Perhaps that's your company as well. Perhaps that's what you do. The best webinars are always scripted, and it's the reason that the presenters always look they always look so confident in what they're saying, and they all know exactly what they're saying from section to section. Now, I'll be completely honest, I haven't scripted this training. I want to give it to you as raw as I possibly can, and I'm going to cover various different things anyway, so I didn't want to kind of have it too scripted to sound like it's coming from a like a robot or something. So VSL sales pages. Now, you would have seen these as long form sales pages. A few years ago they were the most popular. Now it is starting to phase out a bit more in favor of video sales letters, but you do still see them, and sales pages, sales letters are still very important. They are still core if you really want to sell loads of products or services. So landing pages, so you would have actually entered your details into the landing page before you were brought to this training. That's the perfect example of a landing page. Some of the top companies in the world still don't have great landing pages, and it really boggles my mind as to why they haven't invested the time and the effort into doing this. You know, they're obviously doing great, you know, more power to them, but there's so much room for improvement, and it only takes one or two tweaks and you can really increase your return on investment, but also the amount of sales you make, the customer relationship, the whole thing is it's so important and critical if you can get that right. Also ads. Now things like Facebook ads, just pay-per-click in general, so pay-per-click advertising, adverts. It could be in, you know, things like editorials. It could be adverts in e-shots, so sending out emails, solo ads, that kind of thing. You may or may not be familiar with solo ads, but it is a really great way of actually getting your offer in front of your ideal customers. All right, and to a lesser extent, it includes things like blog posts, filler website content. That's more in the domain of a content writer. So there is a difference there, because blog posts and website content, it isn't necessarily selling something, so it might not be as applicable, and certainly it's not as important as the copy you find on sales pages and landing pages. So secret number one. Now, again, it's, do you know, I actually find it quite amusing how many companies fail to get this right. But using stories, use the power of story. That's how the brain formulates and categorizes and understands the information that's being presented to them. So if you're not using story, your people's brains can't comprehend what you're actually telling them and what you're trying to sell them either. So if you're trying to inform them, if you're trying to educate them, the best way to do it is using a story. And if you can weave that into your company and into all of your company's marketing efforts, you're going to have unrivaled success. Trust me on this. So the true strength lies within the mentor or the guide. Now, what do I mean by this? We need to position ourselves as the answer to our customers' problems. You don't want to present yourself as being the hero. So you don't want to present yourself as the company that knows it all. You need to position yourself as the guide, as that person who takes your customer through their journey. It takes them from you know, being incredibly overweight and healthy, and you're going to use that product. That product is going to help them through that journey to becoming really lean, really healthy, and an absolute machine. All right. So you position them as the hero, and you're just there as their guide. All right. Once you take them through that, being the hero, you know, they're trusting you. They're trusting you to guide them through to success. You look at any of the kind of sci-fi films, maybe look at the films like Lord of the Rings. If you'd watched it, Frodo Baggins, he gets led through the different phases of his journey, but he had mentors, he had guides to take him through that. He was the hero of the whole story, but he had many guides in this case and mentors to actually help him through that. All right. So you also need to help address your customers' problems. Now, customers have two types of problems. They actually have three types of problems: internal, external, and philosophical. We're actually only going to cover internal and external. These are the most important problems to actually cover as well. So I'm just going to go through those. Now, customers want to buy your products to resolve their problems on those two levels. So if you can understand what frustrations and moral repercussions exist alongside those external problems and how your product and service solves it, you're going to sell more. As simple as that. Your sales are going to skyrocket. You know, the deeper you engage your customer, the more value they're going to experience. And that's the most important thing, is value, value, value. The more value your customers experience, the more likely they are to buy from you. It's as simple as that. and then you can help your customers transform. As I was saying, you're taking them through that journey. Okay, you're helping them transform. You're taking them from, landing on your website, that first engagement with you. You're taking them from that, giving them information, giving them value, and then guiding them towards your product, your solution. All right, that's the most important thing. So make sure you're using stories to actually engage your customers to sell your products. It is the most effective way to generate sales, hands down. It's what the best speakers in the world, people like Tony Robbins, they speak with stories. That's how you engage people and keep them engaged the whole way through the sales process to that point where they're entering in their credit card details to buy your product. So, secret number 2, psychological triggers. Now, these were actually made very, very well. I'd say popular, but it kind of brought it out into the marketing space by a man called Robert Cialdini. He's actually a psychologist himself, and he's studied why people do things and why people take actions for many, many, many years, and he's actually narrowed it down to 3, what we call the influence principles. So number 1 is scarcity. Now, you need to be able to think about how you can actually include these in your sales pages, on your website, various different marketing materials. But scarcity is one of the most widely used and most popular psychological triggers that's implied by many different companies. But on the flip side, many companies also get this very, very wrong. Now, scarcity, you need to actually engage a person's brain in a way that you're suggesting to them that the offer you're offering them, the product, the service that you're offering them as their solution is only going to be available for so long. Now, I see many people try to implement this, but they don't implement it in the right way, and it does take time. It takes experience to actually implement it effectively. And the most important thing, this is the one thing that, again, I see loads of companies and businesses doing this. They use fake scarcity. You need to make sure that it is real scarcity. So if you're saying on your sales page or your website, if you're saying that you've only got 10 bottles of your fat burner left, you need to actually only have 10 of those fat burners. If people go away and then come back to your landing page another day and it has exactly the same number on there, you're starting to lose their trust, and their trust is the most important thing in the early stages of the customer and company relationship as well. So, second one is what's called reciprocity. Now, reciprocity is the idea that we're programmed as human beings to give back what we're given. So if I was going to put this in a more simple way, reciprocity, the law of reciprocity is engaged every single time you give away any piece of valuable content, free samples of your product, anything like that. That's why when you engage that law, it is actually in fact, it's probably the most powerful out of all of these influence triggers, these psychological triggers, because people are just programmed. They're programmed to give back. They have to. They just have to. They feel obliged to give back, whether that's go on a free trial that you're offering, or perhaps buy your lower end products. They will do everything they can to stay in that mindset of giving back. All right. Now, consistency is actually, it does relate to reciprocity as well, in that as human beings we're built to be consistent in our actions. All right. So, for example, if we give them a free sample of a product and you get them to make very small commitments. So perhaps you get them to download a free ebook on losing weight, for example. You then send another message a few days later. You email them again saying, hey, look, why don't you try our low barrier offer? Try this product, see what you think of it. And because they want to be consistent with their actions, it's much more likely that they're going to buy again. And again, you build them up and up and up to your more expensive products and services. Now, liking, as I mentioned, if anyone's going to buy from you, they have to like you. It doesn't matter whether you're just a single, whether you're a smaller company, whether you're one of the the corporate, the larger companies. It doesn't matter whether you're national, multinational, global. If your customers do not like you, if they don't like your brand and they don't like what you stand for, then they are never going to buy from you. And this is what we need to do as well. We need to use your content in a way that's going to get them liking and trusting you. And it's all about building up the value, and then they will start to trust you and like you. So authority. Now, again, this is actually quite easy to do if you've got testimonials, if you've got case study backed research, all of these kinds of things. But it doesn't change the fact that if you don't position yourself as an authority in a particular industry, if in a particular niche, so if you're selling weight loss fat burners, then you need to be the number one. You need to strive to be the number one company in that particular niche. And it kind of brings us down to the last one, consensus. Now, if the consensus is of most of your audience that you are the company to go for, if you start building up, if you start building those customer relationships, people are going to refer, and it's simple as that. People are going to start telling other people. They're going to start sharing your content. But if you can imply all of these psychological triggers in all of your sales copy, your adverts through to your landing pages, your sales pages, and your website content, if you do that, and even all across social media, you're going to literally triple the effectiveness of all of your content, and you're going to start making tons and tons of more sales and build those customer relationships. So, secret number 3, call to action. Now, you might be thinking, oh, that's not much of a secret. I see sales copy with calls to action all the time. We see it, get your offer now, all these kind of things. The one thing that a lot of companies don't do very well, and this is actually, even some of the bigger ones are guilty of this, is that the calls to action aren't clear and concise. They're not straight to the point. So if you're trying to get a customer to take action on an offer, so for example, if you're doing a 14-day free trial of your new weight loss shake, you need to, at the very end of whatever sales copy you've got, that call to action needs to be very, very specific. For example, it could be start your 14-day weight loss shake trial now. It needs to be very, very specific. You can't just have learn more or get your free trial now. You need to make it as clear, specific, and concise as you possibly can. Okay. The next part, define the alternative less than ideal scenario. Now, what I mean by this is that you need to define the customer's potential failure. So pain and loss avoidance are the key drivers behind purchasing decisions of consumers. And by defining what it is that's at stake, if they don't buy your product or service, you are motivating your customers to find a solution to their problem. Okay? So don't be afraid to define the stakes, but just use failure with discretion. So if you use it too much, if you come across too strong, you risk scaring away your customers. But too little, and you actually remove the reason to engage. All right, so you need a small amount of defining their potential failure, just enough to, you know, start digging at the pain points and getting them to take that all-important action towards the end of whatever your call to action is. Right, so I just want to wrap it up. We've gone on a bit longer than what I said, but all of this stuff is so important, and I can't cover enough in this small amount of time. I haven't got a lot of time to do it, so I'm just trying to race through as quickly as I can. But sales copy is the heart of your sales machine, and it creates the initial customer journey. So for them seeing your ad, to them coming through to your landing page, your sales page, and buying your product. You need to be clear on your company's message and keep it simple. So involve them in the story and position your company as the guide and the mentor. Now, company messages can sometimes be so complicated. So, you know, if it's not universally known and you don't have a very clear mission statement, one-liner that you can reel off, people do get confused, and the last thing you want to do is confuse your customers. Use the psychological triggers carefully. They are powerful. They really are. You would be surprised at how many dictators and people through history that have used these psychological triggers to get what they want. You know, to name a few: Hitler, Pol Pot. You know, there's so many people that have used these psychological triggers to get what they want. Some unethically, but I have no doubt you're going to use it ethically to help your customers. That's what we're all about here. So the next step going on from here is to just apply now and start improving your sales copy, and you'll improve it and you'll start boosting your product sales, increase your return on investment, as I said, and actually create an epic brand customer relationship. So if you just below, there should be a button you can apply now. See if we can work together, see if it would be a good fit, and actually start driving your sales up and up and up through your sales copy. All right, I hope you've enjoyed the video training today. Don't forget to apply below, and I will speak to you very soon. Take care.